それが言いたいためだけにわざわざここへ？いいえ、違うでしょう。後宮家の最後の末裔よ。
In her latest forgery, and she killed off at least 7 of my relatives during the story. Now, if you count Alliance and Banquet, the other forgeries she's made before now. And she's killed off most of my family in horrible ways, over and over again. Oh. So you could say that Alliance and Banquet were also her works. Of course I want to complain. However, all of her works are known for being, in both form and level of completion, the closest tales to those written by Ushiromiya Maria herself. In particular, Itoi Kukuro's first forgery, Banquet of the Golden Witch, was a depiction so complete that it even included Ushiromiya Ewa's escape to Kuwadorian. Yeah. Oh! To Kuwadorian. Actually, no, I think that the story actually told about the escape to a Kuwadorian, right? Well, now I don't remember. Yeah, it actually did. Okay, yeah, I remember. Like, that would be their explanation. I was thinking of my bomb theory out over here. People wondered whether this might be the true story of Kanjima. Made it into the talk shows. So far, all these tales have been nothing more than electronic text on the web. Electronic text on the web? However, people eventually realized that Itoi Kukuro is actually Hachio Toya. When that happens, these tales will become associated with the bizarre Hachijo, and no one will think of them as mere fan creations. People will probably start wondering if this might actually be a third message bottle she found and released under the guise of a story she herself wrote. I guess this is why we're here in the first place, where we want to see if she actually has a third message bottle, or a fourth, or even a fifth, or all this stuff just came out of her mind. When that happens, these stories will probably seem even more bizarre and incredible.
狡猾ですね。どうして？そうしてあなたは自分の義書に神秘性と信憑性を与える。信憑性とは？それを得て、あなたの義書は真実に昇華される。昇華。愚かしい。そんなもの、私の作品には必要ありません。なぜなら、あなたの作品は義書ではなく真実だから？ええ、真実なのですから、昇華など不要。あなたはマリアお姉ちゃんじゃない。ましてや、あの日の六軒島にも存在しない。なのに、どうして真実などとおこがましいことを？
お嬢、頭に血が上りすぎですぜ。
うるさいわね。私のどこがそうだってのよ。
Angie realized that she let her emotions get control over her. She let out a sigh and shrugged.
あなたがここへ来た理由は、親族を義書の中で何度も殺めた私をなじるためではないでしょ。
Hachijo had been smiling at Angie kindly, but in a condescending manner. Or else, like a mother might watch over a very small child. Angie realized this and wasn't able to suppress her irritation. Apparently, Amakusa could tell that Angie was getting worked up. He joked around with her for a bit so that they could start the conversation over again, from the beginning.
あなたが私に聞きたいのは、私の至った真実でしょう。どうして真実に至ったと確信を？すべての物語を理解したからです。だから、どうしてそうだと確信を？太陽が地球の周りを回っていたことは あると思いますか?
Ajizo suddenly started talking about the geocentric model. And she was about to tell her not to answer questions with more questions. But she quickly realized what Hajiro meant.
かつて人間は天動説を支持していた。しかし近代、それは否定されることとなる。なら否定された瞬間に、太陽は動きを止め、地球がその周りを回り始めたというのだろうか。そんなわけもない。人間が何を信じようと、真実は変わらない。ならば今、あなたが私の真実を否定するのは、つまりはそういうこと。
Several scholars before Galileo proposed a heliocentric model. However, it was hard to objectively prove it using the scientific techniques available at the time. However, that didn't change the fact that it was the truth. And yet, it moves.
真実はその立証のいかに関わらず真実だと？そうです。これより未来、やがて全ての真実が明らかになった時、私がすでに真実に至っていたと遡って人々は気がつくでしょう。
Apparently, Angie just couldn't stand Hachiro's attitude. She kept getting irritated, and every time Amakusa would joke around until she settled down again. However, there could be no mistake that Hachiro was a genius, and he used her extraordinary intuition to form a most interesting perspective on the events that had occurred on that island. And that was why Angie had wanted to contact Itoi Kukuro and hear about her viewpoint. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but you seem to talk about the truth as if it's like the absolute truth that cannot be denied. If I'm understanding this right. Which, who knows? If what you see as the truth of the tales is really the truth of the tales. Like, those from the past who thought that the sun revolved around the planet also might have thought that that was the one and only truth that was possible. It was their absolute truth. They deemed it to be the absolute truth, until it was disproven with new truth. We deem those new ideas to be the truth because we decide to deem them as truths. Like, you know, truths preceding truths. I mean, you cannot be sure that the current truth is the one and only, that can never be denied. Because, well, that would imply that you can see into the future or something like that and find out that the current one will never be replaced. And I don't think that you did that. I mean, you are free to believe that your truth is the truth. You cannot say that your truth can never be disproven. Because, well, that surely limits your thinking afterwards. And you are discrediting the opinions of other people who believe in their own truths. And maybe you can learn something from them. I mean, you said it yourself. When the full truth becomes known, people look back and realize that you already discovered it. And that is what you said. You are thinking of yourself highly and are condescending towards those who think differently from you. Now, can I say that the absolute truth doesn't exist? No. If I say no or yes to that question, that will be... I mean, that would be considered an absolute from a certain point of view, but it is something that I believe, whether it is a yes or no. Like, maybe the universe will decide one day that to prove my answer wrong. And in which case, my statement about it being a yes or no, it wouldn't be an absolute in that case. So, no. Angie hadn't been absolutely sure that Itoi Kukuro was Hachijo Toya. She hadn't thought that the publishing company would really contact the author. And most of all, she hadn't dreamed that the mysterious masked author would grant her an interview under such short notice. The more she thought about it, the more she realized that the sum of the events leading to this meeting made for nothing short of a miracle. Yeah, a miracle. After all, in most circumstances, I don't get contacted by the publishing company at all and leave for Nijima the next day. I left for Nijima, then I went on to Rokkenjima. Then I gave One-chan Sakutaro. Huh? Why would I have Sakutaro? My memory of the future is all muddled. My head hurts. Hachijo said something about showing Angie something good, rose from the sofa, and headed for the study desk. When she turned her back, Amakusa asked Angie, who seemed to be troubled about something, if she was okay.
ねえ、天草。私っていつからここにいるの？
はあ？さっきから様子がおかしいですぜ。何事ですかい？
私、いつからここに座ってるのか記憶がないの。
まだ寝ぼけてんですかい？
そうじゃなくて。だって、私は確か大月教授とはアポイントが取れてたけど、伊藤育九郎の件では出版社から返事がなくて、結局この日は一日何もできなかったんじゃなかったっけ？
は？
天草はあの大きな黒いバッグを受け取りに行ったんじゃなかったっけ？
That's right. Just before we left for Nijima, Amakusa and I briefly parted ways. He said something about getting a weapon from an acquaintance of his, and he went to get that large black bag. Wasn't that today? What am I talking about? I mean, didn't I go to Nijima, meet Captain Kawabata, and inside the bed shop? Huh? What?
どうしました？
Did my confusion and uncertainty make me sigh out loud? You know, Hachijo's back was to me. She slowly turned around and smiled as though she had peered into my heart.
いいえ、何も。
Strange memories, ones that even I cannot understand. I tried to hide my confusion, but for some reason, Hachijo had a strange glint in her eyes, as though she could read my mind.
私は何冊もの記書の中で何度もあなたのご親族を蘇らせては殺す。まるで魔女のように。
好きなだけ蘇らせて、好きなだけ殺す。無限に。まるでベアトリーチェね。
ええ。だから私はやはりネット上で彼らがそう呼ぶように魔女なのかと思って。
Way ahead of you, miss. She took a thickly packed brown envelope out of a locked drawer. It appeared to be filled to bursting with pages of printed out text. Perhaps this was a manuscript for one of her works. And the neat letters written with a fountain pen on the envelope spelled out the words Dawn. There is no forgery by the name of Dawn. Which must mean Angie could tell. This was a new one. Hachijo's newest, unreleased forgery.
Dawn of the Golden Witch.
すべてを知る私にはすべてが退屈。しかし何も知らぬ無知にそれを読ませ、何がしかの反応を得ることは嫌いではない。だからあなたに読んでほしい。
新しい無限の魔女としての新作を。
そうです、人の子よ。あなたが憤慨しようとも感嘆しようとも、それは私の病を一時忘れさせる。
My God, you really are the creator of Erika. You sound like Ben Costello there. Well, no wonder I myself don't feel any respect for you at this current time.
もう茶番は終わりにしましょう。あんたは誰？私の記憶にこんな出会いはないわ。
Yeah, I did try to contact Hachijo Toya. However, in the end, I never got a chance to meet her. In other words, all this is falsehood.
今度は私は誰の駒？悪いけど、この後ろ宮エンジェ、飼いならせると思ったら大間違いよ。
やはりそなたは面白いかな。
She finally couldn't hold him back and burst out laughing. Gradually, the space around them seemed to fill with a strange purple mist. The room itself seemed to twist and bend. Her figure also twisted, and after transforming through something that couldn't be described, she took the form of just what she had called herself. A witch.
見事なり。
Whoa!
よくぞ私を見破った。
私ってつくづく魔女に好かれる性分ね。あんたたちに特徴的などこか人を舐めた口調。すぐに魔女だって分かったわ。
The novelist sitting on the sofa was nowhere to be seen. Even Angie's bodyguard, who was supposed to be around at times like this, was gone. There was only a non-human figure relaxing in a large, ornate rocking chair.
面白きかな、人の子よ。愉快なり、それでこそ我が退屈にふさわしい。
こっちは全然愉快じゃないわ。どうして私は生きてるの？私は名前を明かしたルール違反でひどい殺され方をしたと思ってたけど。
I did doubt that those people would just let me go so easily. What kind of farce will I be forced to go along with this time? I really don't care. I'll just do whatever I can within the bounds of the role they give me. Whatever I can to help Oni-chan. Of course, I understand. Even if he wins, he'll never come back to me.
でもね、あがくわよ。あの日の私のところへお兄ちゃんを返すためにね。
そういきり立たずともよい。私がそなたに求める役割は駒ではない。
じゃあ何の用で呼び出したの？まさかあんたの書いたとかいう 新しい物語を読めとでも言う気じゃないでしょうね。
その通りだ。そなたに望むのは駒ではない。もとより私は傍観者。あやつらのゲームにちょっかいを出す気など毛頭もなし。
意味わかんないわ。あんたは私に何を期待してるの？
私のためにベアトリーチェの紡ぐかけらの観測者であれ。
観測者？
An observer.
よくわかんないけど、お断りよ。
かつて私はバトラを通してかけらを鑑賞していた。しかし彼がゲームマスターを継承した今、観測者としてふさわしくないのだ。私は心より純粋な気持ちで物語を追っている。その私にとって今のバトラを通して観測することはさながら推理小説を逆さに読むにも等しい興ざめ。
Well, I guess I guess I can see that. He has figured out everything, from what I have understood. Following him would be... I mean, it would be cheating if the observer wants to figure out and interpret things for themselves. And then again, it's not out of the realm of possibility to follow someone who knows everything. As long as what that someone knows is kept a secret from the observer, that is. I mean, someone like Hercule Poirot might figure out the solution to the mystery, like, at the beginning of the book. It doesn't mean that the author will let Hercule Poirot tell us the solution, like, right ahead. No. We, the readers, will still have to figure out the mystery, in that sense. But... okay, you know what, like, there's like one way of looking at it. You are going for a Watson type character. An observer for you to use their eyes to see how it'll all go. To observe the detective from a completely different view. And that is why you want Angie for this job.
お兄ちゃんがゲームマスター？何の話をしてるのかさっぱりだわ。
さっぱりだろう。知りたいであろう。私も知りたい。バトラがゲームマスターを継承し紡ぐ物語がどのようなものか、そしてバトラが至ったという真実がどのようなものか、私の自らの思考の旅で追いたいのだ。私は病の深き身。考えねば鼓動を続けることさえかなわぬ。
つまりあんたは新しい絵本を私に朗読してもらいたいってわけ？
そういう解釈でよい。見返りにそなたもまた自由に思考を旅することができる。そなたとて未だ真相には至っていないはず。続けたいはずだ。真相を知る旅を。
あんたに得をさせる義理がないわ。
生きがるな。私は時に寛大だが、多くの場合そうではない。
Angie hadn't yet reached a true theater. Though she knew that the game was little more than a toy for the witches to play with, she wanted it to resume, so that she could follow the tale and close in on a kink called truth.
私は私が真実に至るために物語を追うかもしれないけれど、あんたのために最後まで朗読する義理はないわ。
Meanwhile, you have a skeleton who is reading the story out loud, as if he's talking to a crowd of people. I am basically spreading the story of Umineko, so that more people will know about its existence. and they themselves spread their own interpretation of what happened. Just like Miss, to spread Umineko's values, its existence, its significance, and to increase its staying power.
意味はわかる？
Angie was willing to read the story aloud, but she could just quit any time if this witch made her mad. She was, in effect, warning the witch not to annoy her.
無論だ。絵本と称したが、私にとっては死に至る病への唯一の薬。そなたの買い添えなくして飲むこともできぬもの。すなわち、総理強制だ。
Oh. So, like an author and a reader. An author can write their own mysteries, but well, what good is it if it has no readers to actually read that book? To create a connection between the reader and the author, in a similar fashion to what has been discussed before.
あんたが寝入るまで私に本を朗読しろと。その代わり私にも読むことを許す。そういうことね。
そうだ。引き受けてくれるならば、しばしの一時、私の朗読者に任ずる。
偉そうな役職名だけど、所詮はただの本読みでしょ。
私の朗読者であるということは、私の使いであるということ。すなわち、そなたへの干渉は私への干渉。私はベアトリーチェの物語の続きを読みたいという唯一の興味を何者にも邪魔されることを許さぬ。そなたをもてあそんだベルンカステルもラムダデルタも、無論ベアトリーチェさえもそなたに対して一切の強制力を持つことは許さない。
This witch, who seemed to have an almost divine quality to her, spoke both quietly and forcefully. There was no threat in her words. However, even so, it was clear that she was on a different level than Ben Castell and the other witches, and not at all to be taken lightly.
本を読ませる代わりに私を保護してくれると？
無論だ。私は朗読を望んでいる。それを邪魔する者は何人であれ許しはしない。私の態度が横柄に感じるならば謝ろう、人の子よ。私はこれでもそなたに最大の敬意を持って語りかけている。
みたいね。その魔女らしい口調さえ、どうやらあんたの中では数百年ぶりに見せた敬意って感じがするわ。
そなたは本を読むとき、本によろしくお願いしますと語りかけてから表紙をめくるか？
そういうことよね。理解したわ。
Just by agreeing to have a conversation with Angie, she was showing an incredible amount of respect and willingness to compromise. Angie shrugged, but she also nodded to show her consent. Alright, well, I did say before that Toya was... She was not really winning my respect with her attitude and all. But, as a reader, I am willing to put my trust in you for now. I will love and respect you as an author, as long as you also love and respect me as a reader. You put forward a story that will respect me as an individual, and I will respect you for feeding my brain with knowledge.
いいわ。あんたの朗読者を引き受ける。あんたが私に同意を求めた時点で、最大の敬意を表したことを理解したわ。
I mean, I won't say a ton of respect, but...
良き理解だ、人の子よ。
私の名はエンジェよ。人の子だかタケノコだか呼ぶのはやめて。
良いだろう。私が敬意を示すことの証に、そなたの名を認めよう。
For her, acknowledging a human's name was like acknowledging the names of all the leaves scattered across the ground. So, her acknowledging Angie's name was a miracle. No, it was immensely good fortune.
これよりそなた、後宮エンジェを、感激の魔女、フェザリーノ・アウグストゥス・アウローラの巫女にして、朗読者に任ずる。
Witch of Theatergoing, Federine Augustus Aurora.
そなたが朗読を終えるまで、そなたの朗読を妨げようとするすべてのものに災いを与えよう。
When the Witch of Theatergoing, Federine, spoke this, Angie was wrapped in a bright light. Federine. Feder. Angie didn't feel any particular change herself, but she definitely had been given something that only non-humans could sense. It signified that from this point forward, Angie would be attached to the Witch of Theatergoing. That didn't mean that Angie would gain some sort of special power, but at the very least, it probably meant that anyone wanting to cause her harm would first have to take on Federine herself.
あんたの名前、ずいぶんと長いのね。ローマの偉人みたい。何と呼べば？
親しくない者はアウグストゥス・アウローラと呼ぶ。
私に敬意を示してくれたあんたに、私も敬意を示して、フェザリーヌと呼ぶわ。問題は？
ない。病んだこの身には、名を呼ばれることさえ、噛みしめがいのある優越だ。人の子よ。
Hey, no child of man. She's Angie.
エンジェよ、私の名前。
そういうやりとりさえも心地よきかな。エンジェ、我が巫女よ。
Angie accepted her role. She would observe this tale with the Witch of Theatergoing. The curtain was rising on the sixth table. I'm not gonna lie, this entire discussion does make me think of Ryukishi. I mean, Federin over here has shown to be quite condescending to those readers who she thinks didn't actually read the stories. It does make me question if Ryukishi is trying to say something through this. Like, you know, the one thing that comes to mind is those moments that I have been told about before long ago, of how the readers said that the earlier episodes were too difficult. So Ryukishi had to tweak things like a little bit for the readers to not feel as overwhelmed. I mean, I do hope that Ryukishi doesn't feel hurt about that. At one time, only Beato and her fellow witches had gathered in the smoking room to chat. Now, however, an unusually large number of people were present. Hey there, Lamadetto.
バトラーは一体どういうゲームを見せてくれるのかしらね。
それが退屈を忘れさせ、壊しがいあるものなら何でも歓迎よ。
お任せください、我が主。
Hey there, Erika.
必ずや主の望まれる結果となるよう最善を尽くします。
ええ、そうしてね。前回のゲームではおかしな表情ばかり見せちゃったから、頬が歪んで変なシワにならないか不安だわ。
そんなことはありません。どんなおシワができようとも我が主の美貌は完璧です。ベルンがこんなにも楽しそうなんてね。本当にベアとのゲーム版は素晴らしいわ。
そのゲーム版の主がもはや不在なのは悲しいことです。
虎は死んで皮を残す。ベアとも死んでゲームを残したわ。
チェスは残ってもその作者の名は残ってないわね。
あ、本当だ。ゲームの作者って不憫ね。
Yeah, poor game creators indeed.
それにしてもバトラさんは随分待たせるじゃないですか。
Yeah, I guess so. Just like Beato, he is probably preparing like a fantastic game for us.
第6のゲームの準備まだ終わらないんですか？
ガートルード、バトラ教の準備はいかがです？
近景謹んで申し上げる。もうじきのことと知りたまえと奉る者なり。
I mean, you know, I think I talked about this before. I mean, it is one thing to have the knowledge, but it is a completely different thing to have the experience of something like this. This is still technically... Man, can you imagine that Better would have to take the role of Beatrice, in the sense that he would have to create a game? This is his first time, from what I'm understanding right over here, so... I can only imagine that he is that knowledgeable about how to do this and fulfill his role.
待たせるってことはそれだけ自信作なんでしょうよ。前回我が主の前であれだけの恥をかかされたんです。
Yeah. You better make sure that it doesn't happen again, Erika. Otherwise, no meaning battle for you. Soon. Soon.
是が非でも打ち破ってみせます。特にあんた、二度と無様を見せないでくださいよ。奮起して臨むものなりよ。
The previous game master, Namna Delta, had confirmed that Beller understood everything about Beto's game. However, in order to prove it, Beller would have to run this game by himself and carry it through to completion. In other words, if Erika could crush this game of Beller's, she would, in effect, wipe away the dishonor of the last game. Would it though? Would it? I mean, you know, Erika has shown to have this kind of mentality where if she succeeds in some next game, it would wipe away the failure of the past. I mean, we all know that you cannot really wipe away the past. The past is right there. You cannot just destroy it. The only thing you can do is accept it. Though Erika was chomping at the bit to get started, it was taking Better quite some time to show himself. Yeah, I mean, she's getting, like, Erika is getting all pumped right now. She is basically chomping on her chopsticks, like, right now, waiting for that. Then, a swarm of gold butterflies swelled out of nothing and formed a human shape. From the shape of that familiar dress, everyone immediately realized who it was.
や、ベアトリーチェさんじゃないですか。
No.
てっきり前回死んで消えたとばかり。
消えたのはプレイヤーのベアトよ。こいつは駒でしょ、バトルの。
駒ではあってもご本人と変わりありません。
Beatrice gave an elegant curtsy as she appeared. She looks different. Usually when someone like Beato would enter a room, she would have her pipe and she would have like a condescending smile, like a very confident smile, and she starts laughing like immediately. This one looks as if she is like the Beatrice from one of the earlier episodes, the innocent Beatrice that we've seen in the past, that was holed up at the hidden mansion. This humble entrance was so vastly different from her usual high-pitched laugh. Yeah, exactly. And that it created a sense of tension as they waited for the start of the 6th game to be announced at last.
お父様はもうじきお越しになられます。
Now, okay, well, this is radically different. I don't remember the other Beatrice from the past talking like this.
どうかもうしばらくのお時間をお許しください。お父様、何それ？
Father.
それが今回の思考？
Not only had Beto start talking in an unusually polite manner, she had also used the word father. Probably referring to Bella. Bella? Father? What? Bella, what are you trying to do? For an instant, everyone was stunned into silence. But they quickly realized that this was part of something bigger, and they grinned. Bella wasn't the type who could keep up this kind of act for long. It would probably fall apart in a few seconds, leaving her laughing and cackling rudely at everyone. Erika, who was itching for a fight, went for Beato almost at once.
まさか無能のバトラさんがあなたのゲームの真相に至るなんてね。お父様なればこそ深淵を理解されたのでしょう。さすがだと思います。しかしあんたもラッキーです。バトラがゲームマスターになれなかったら二度と復活できなかったんですよ。まったく悪運が強いと言いますか。悪運？まあいずれにせよ前回の借りはきっちり返させてもらいますので。あんたというバトラの妄想幻想きっちり消し去って忘却の深淵に叩き落としてやりますから。私もみすみすやられるわけには参りません。そのお手柔らかによろしくお願いいたします。
It is not the first time I'm noticing such a detail.